Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE, and today I am on the Brutus Monroe Inspiration blog showing you 5 cards, 1 kit from the September Birds of a Feather inspiration box. This is an awesome box. I do have an unboxing that I'll link above. It came with this large stamp set, 2 feather dies, and multiple different types of sequins and things that you can add to your cards. With every Brutus Monroe inspiration box, you get these foilable panels, and so I used the one shown there and foiled it with blue, green, and purple foil. So one of the nice things about foiling is you can lay pieces of foil on top of each other and it will only foil the bottom one, so you don't have to worry about having it really neat. And I wanted to kind of give it multicolored, and you can see how beautiful that came out, and it was so simple. It wasn't any more difficult than adding one sheet. So I did take one of the feather dies and I cut it out with Clover Glitterstock and also with the Midnight Glitterstock. And I'm using one of the gorgeous little glass pieces that come in the kit, and this has a little peacock on it, and I'm going to use that to adhere my feathers together to the top. I am also going to put glue on the back of the feathers, but I wanted it to appear as if that's what was kind of pinning them to the front of the card. So the sentiment that I chose is "Life is art, live yours in color," and I love this sentiment. This stamp set was gorgeous. It had 8 or 10 different feather stamps, and then 4 very large sentiments, and just the stamp set from this one was definitely one of my favorites from the recent boxes. So what I did is I heat embossed that with Raven Detail ink on some vellum and adhered everything down, and that was it. So simple. Those foilable panels, if you have a laminator, they make easy cards that are gorgeous. And there you can see the finished card. So easy, and it's done. So for card number 2, I wanted to do some paper piecing. I hadn't done this in a while, and it is kind of time consuming, but the results are just gorgeous. So I started out by using a sheet of green cardstock that was included in the kit, and I'm just taking some of the feathers and laying them out randomly. And I'm going to white heat emboss those with Alabaster embossing powder. And then I'm going to cut one of the feathers, the same die that I used to cut the first card. And I'm going to cut that in Midnight cardstock. And once I cut that, I'm then going to take that same die and I'm going to cut it 3 more times, once with Clover Glitterstock, Mermaid Glitterstock, and Iris Glitterstock. And I'm going to take those pieces and save all my little teeny tiny pieces and put them in different piles. And so that way, once I get my heat embossing done, I'm ready to adhere my Midnight feather down and start my paper piecing. It's really important when you're doing the die cutting for paper piecing that you keep all of the pieces, because you'll never know how you want to rotate the colors or what you may need, so make sure you keep hold of those. And I'm really careful after I die cut it. I kind of lift up the plate that my die is on, take it to my desk, so I make sure I have everything. So there you can see I have my Midnight colored feather down, and I'm just going through it, and I just use the Brutus Monroe craft glue, and I'm putting a little bit and then putting a piece down. And I'm not going to show you the entire feather because those pieces on the side, they were a little tedious, but like I said, paper piecing, it is time consuming, but the results are always gorgeous. And I did decide not to add a sentiment to this card. I am going to add some Nouveau glitter drops, just to kind of add some things in between the feathers, but I wanted to keep this card without a sentiment, so that way when I'm ready to give it to the recipient, I can just put one on the inside and it's ready to go. So you can see there I've got some of it done, and now it's complete. And you can see how beautiful that looks, just going in and adding, and you can stick with one solid color. There's so many things you can do with it. So it's a relatively simple card. It's just a little time consuming, but it's definitely worth it. So for card number 3, the kit actually came with some glitter glaze, And this is only with the kit. However, you can get the other contents of the kit. The box is sold out, but you can get the other contents individually. But this would also work great with the unicorn horn glitter glaze. So I am using the Mermaid stencil, Mermaid Wave stencil. I love this stencil. It's so gorgeous. And I've got that taped down. And what I'm actually putting the glaze on is a panel that I made using the red and pink aqua pigments. So you can see there it is dry, and it's really pretty. It's got this really nice shimmer to it. So what I did while that was drying is I cut out, this is the other die in the set, and I actually cut 4, 2 with Mermaid and 2 with Sterling, and I'm only going to use 3. So you'll see here, my first thoughts were to double them up and put 4 on there, and then I'm actually going to change that. I am going to use some Sapphire Glitterstock for the edging of the panel, but I'm going to take 2 of the Mermaid and put 1 of the Sterling in between and just kind of line up 3 feathers together, and then place my sentiment down in the corner. So for my sentiment, I use Be a Peacock and a Flock of Pigeons, and I just heat emboss that with Alabaster on vellum. The Brutus Monroe vellum that comes with these kits, it is so thick and awesome to heat emboss on. It doesn't burn your paper. I mean, you have to be careful with it, but it really does hold up well with heat embossing. And there you can see the final shimmery, glittery card. Very simple. All of these cards in this kit, the 5 cards, were relatively simple to do. The kit really made it easy to make beautiful cards. So for card number 4, I decided to use the brush strokes foil toner sheets from Brutus Monroe, and I wanted to foil those with the purple Deco foil. So I foiled an entire panel, but I'm actually going to cut that down to about 2 inches. And I'm going to adhere it to a watercolored panel, and I'm going to heat emboss, put my sentiment over on the other side. So the sentiment that I'm using is Be a Peacock and a Flock of Pigeons, and I decided to do that in Gilded. I wanted this card to look a little more kind of sophisticated, so I wanted to use the gold to kind of set off the purple from the brush strokes foiling. So here I'm using the Gilded, and this is a beautiful gold color. And I love it because all of the Brutus Monroe embossing powders, they stay put. I mean, you have to use your anti-static bag, but very rarely do you have to get out a paintbrush to get your embossing powders from where they strays that shouldn't have gone where they went. So I am adhering the panel down that has, or the piece down that has the foiling, and I am going to give this some dimension with a little bit of fun foam. And I'm going to attach it to a card base that has the Gilded Glitterstock just to carry that gold color over. And then I'm going to go in and add some of the little enamel, they're not really dots, they're really larger than that came with the kit. They're really pretty. They're like the peacock colors, the navies and greens. And so I'm going to add 6 of those just placed throughout the card. And there you can see the finished card. I really like this one. It's very sophisticated. I think it would be great to give to somebody who's having a bad day and just remind them, you know, to be that peacock in a flock of pigeons. Love that sentiment. So for the last card, I am actually going to show you on camera. I had used the aqua pigments in a couple of the other cards, and this one I'm actually showing you. So these are just a watercolor. They're, or not just a watercolor, excuse me. They're actually a liquid watercolor, but they are extremely pigmented. So I am just going in with a wet brush. I don't have any water on here at all, and I'm just randomly, not in any type of straight lines, adding the blue, violet, and the turquoise. I didn't want this to look very neat and precise. I just wanted to lay the color down. The only thing I wanted was just for it to rotate one color to the other. That was the only quote-unquote precise thing that I wanted as far as this watercoloring went. And these aqua pigments are so fun, so addicting once you start using them. And I'll have these linked below, and you will definitely see other videos with these. You can see the panel there once it's dried, and these dry very quickly. I decided to take a white card panel, and I am going to, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm going to foil this one. Yes, I'm going to foil this one without using heat. So the way that you do this is I just use some strong double-sided score tape, and this is 1 inch, I believe, score tape. And so I just put that down on my panel, and then once you lift it up, all you have to do is take a piece of foil, and I'm going to use green, and lay it down. And you want to make sure that you burnish this in really well. So I'm going to use my Teflon bone folder. And you can see just with my fingers there, it did adhere, but you want to make sure it's down really well. And you're going to get great results with this. Obviously, using a laminator will make it a little more smoother and things like that. But if you don't have any type of heat source like a laminator, this is a great option to be able to foil your projects. So the biggest tip I can give you is when you're taking it off, take it off very slowly as I am here. And if you find that some of it is still sticking, just put the foil back down and use your bone folder again. So you can see with no heat, we've got a gorgeous foiling element to our panel. And I did cut that down, so the foiling was actually about a 1/2 inch, because I cut this panel down, and then what I'm going to do is take some leaves from the stamp set, and I'm going to just randomly place those on a sheet of white cardstock. And I'm going to use 2 colors. I'm going to use the Aubergine Surface Inks and the Envy Surface Inks. And then I'm going to take this panel and cut it down and raise it with Fun Foam so that the 2 cut down panels together will make a full one. If that doesn't make sense, you'll see here in a moment. So I'm just going through and stamping out all of the feathers that I want on my card. And I had originally thought about adding the turquoise color in, and I decided to just stick with the green, the Envy and Aubergine. So I'm going to put the foiled panel down first, and you'll see it doesn't completely cover up my card panel because I've cut it down. And I am going to put my sentiment on that side. And this card had a lot going on with it, so what I decided to do was just to stamp it out with Raven Detail Ink, my sentiment. And here you can see me cutting down the feathers. And I went ahead and stamped out the whole panel because now I have what was left that I didn't use on this card, I can use it on another card. And the sentiment that I used was called Flock Together. I really like this. There's also Birds of a Feather is also another sentiment. And I was going to put that at the top and then put this, or put the Birds of a Feather here and put the Flock Together on the inside. But I decided to just put the Flock Together because you did have all the different colored feathers and stuff. So to add the other side of the panel, now I'm going to put the feather side down. This card is probably my favorite card. I liked it because it was simple and you could do the foil. Anybody could do the foiling. You don't have to have the laminator to do it. I am going in and adding some crushed grape Nouveau drops just to some of the aubergine feathers. And that's the finished card. I really like this, the way this one turned out. All 5 of these cards were so simple and easy and fun to make. And I highly encourage you to check out the website and pick up these individual products. And also, if you miss the subscription box, there will be information on the blog on how to go in and subscribe, and so that way you won't miss any in the future, and you'll also receive 15% off all of your future purchases. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment down below if you have any questions, or let me know which card was your favorite. And as always, if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day.